President Trump creating a new White House Innovation Office led by his son-in-law, senior advisor Jared Kushner. Kushner tasked with replicating private sector efficiency in the government. Mr. Trump also today rolled back Obama-era regulations, signing 4 bills eliminating rules on federal contracts, land use, education, he says, kill jobs. Joining me now to discuss the president's efforts to drain the swamp and get his agenda rolling, a member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, first member of Congress to back the Trump presidential candidacy, Congressman Chris Collins of New York. Congressman, great to see you.
Good to be with you, Lou.
I got to start with, the president made a remark, and we heard Reince Priebus make a remark about the Freedom Caucus. This is a bill that was supported by 17% of the folks. It was a bill that did not repeal Obamacare. It was a bill that was awful hard to take, and 20 million Americans, according to the CBO, weren't going to be covered. What in the world is going on there in the Speaker's office?
Well, let me start, Lou, by saying clearly America did not understand what we were doing, and it was changing by the day. But here's what I have focused on, which you don't hear people talk about.
Whoa, Congressman, I got to be honest with you. I tremendously respect you. But when a congressman tells me the American people aren't smart enough to understand what the hell Congress is doing, let me just say that.
I didn't
let
say
me finish.
Not smart enough.
That means Congress wasn't smart enough to communicate. And that's where we are. I mean, that's not on the people. That's on Congress.
Well, here's what I will say. I was focused on $800 million or $1 billion worth of taxes, fees, and penalties being eliminated. We didn't talk about that enough. That would have been the first jump start to our economy, and somehow that message wasn't delivered about the huge amount of taxes, fees, and penalties.
Well, it may not have been delivered because you didn't have open hearings. You had overnight meetings with the Energy and Commerce Committee. Ways and Means didn't have amendments. This is supposed to be regular order, and in 2 weeks you're supposed to be moving legislation this important, a seventh of the economy. And I mean, Congress, I got to be honest with you. What in the hell were you people thinking?
Well, in hindsight, we can always look back and say there may have been...
The hell, I said it at the time.
Well, you're smarter than some of us then, Lou.
Well, don't you be giving me that faint praise now.
You know, I was joking with someone today, and this is not a joking matter, but with that said, we are going to look forward to moving on to tax reform. And I told somebody, you wouldn't have even had Frank Underwood get this through. It was that much of a compromise between, you know, the Tuesday group, the Freedom Caucus, and at the end...
Well, hell, those aren't unknown constituencies and factions within Congress. Why wouldn't anyone with half a brain be reaching out to them, involving them in the creation of... By the way, who the hell wrote the legislation? Was it just one insurance company, or was it more?
No, it wasn't the insurance companies, Lou, but I will say a lot of us, including the president, took the Freedom Caucus at face value, listened to them, put some changes in, and then they walked away from it. So if there was a lesson learned, it's, I guess we're going to have to get a more solid commitment from the Freedom Caucus in dealing with them. But that's, again, water over the dam. The Freedom Caucus
is the problem. I get it. Not the fact that the Speaker didn't know what the hell he was doing, promised for weeks that he had the votes. And on top of that, you're coming back with tax reform when you're going to be led by the same Speaker. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me, right?
We are going to move to tax reform. We're going to have to do a better job on this. It's not as emotional as what we did on health care. We have a separate set of issues on tax reform to make it budget neutral so it doesn't sunset in 10 years.
Are you going to have it regular order? You're going to see amendments. We're going to see debate. We're going to be able to watch it transparently. Are we going to see that?
Yeah, we are, Lou, because we're looking at a July, August, September kind of time frame. We're going to have plenty of hearings. While we do have a starting point, there was some lessons learned here, and I think you're going to see more regular order on tax reform. We're not under the gun time-wise like we were on the health care. It's unfortunate
I don't know where that gun came from, because I could never understand the urgency that would make the clock run over consideration and making sure it was done right.